Hello, folks. The Fresh Insider News channel is finally here, and I'm your host, Patrick, ready to take you on a wild ride through the world of finances, news, cryptocurrency, and a lot more. This is the place where you get the scoop on all the latest news with a side of the humor and wit. So sit back, grab a snack, and get ready to be entertained and informed. We are gonna dive deep into nitty gritty details of a financial world and come out around the other side with a smile on our faces. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single episode. In today's news, we will be covering topics like Santander grants 60 million sterling's sustainability linked loan to Lancaster University. We're gonna have a crash course from ChatGPT usage. And we're gonna hear about Jordan Peterson announce the establishment of a new international movement on Joe Rogan show. And from the mainstream media, BBC reports crypto addicts therapy offered by a luxury rehab centers. Right, guys, first news today. Santander is granting a loan 60 million sterlings to Lancaster University. Lancaster University ramps up efforts to achieve sustainability targets with sustainability-linked loan from Santander UK. Santander UK has provided Lancaster University with a £60 million sustainability-linked loan, among its first for a UK university. The facility supports Lancaster University to achieve the sustainability performance targets spanning environmental, social, and academic impacts. The 5-year funding agreement enables Lancaster University to provide a bursary fund each year to support one of or more students from a low-income background undertaking a sustainability-focused degree. Very interesting news. If you don't know what sustainability-linked loan is, it is a type of loan where the interest rate is linked to borrower sustainability performance. In other words, if the borrower meets the criteria and the certain sustainability targets, such as reducing carbon emission or improving synergy efficiency, the interest rate might be reduced. This type of loan, and might be the only loan you might receive in the future to come, this type of loan incentives borrower to prioritize sustainability and aligns the financial interest of the lender and the borrower with respect to sustainability objectives. Sustainability linked supply chain finance program by Santander in partnership with Sonai and global sustainability rating platform EcoVadis started at May 2022. If you don't know what Sonai is, it is a Portuguese multinational conglomerate that operates in various industries like telecommunication, real estate, retail, or finance and tech, for example. Sonai is a creator of Sustainability Consulting Group and Sustainability Forum. They're part of a council and whole sustainable development incentive since 1995. Also, they are part of United Nations since 2004 and a part of World Economic Forum. All connects to one. So if you don't know what EcoVadis is, I didn't know, for example, I needed to research that shit because I had no clue really what are sustainable platforms and stuff like that. It is a platform that provides sustainability assessment for business. It aims to help. What they mean is to control, basically. But it says here it aims to help companies understand their impact on the environment, society, and governments. and to improve their sustainability practices. EcoVadis provides rating and scores based on a comprehensive set of criteria, including labor rights, ethic, and environmental impact, among others. Companies can use these ratings to benchmark their performance against their peers, identify areas for improvement, and track their progress over time. Their clients are companies like Nestle, Henkel, Nokia, Bayern Healthcare, or Coca-Cola, for example. Very sustainable companies. And also, EcoVadis is a part of World Economic Forum, like all the two bodies mentioned earlier. They all part of one incentive, they all part of one agenda, they all part of one, basically one world, what they want to bring up. What a coincidence, don't you think so? Everything so sustainable and beautiful. Everything we heading into one direction, which is gonna be sustainable direction, if you wonder what. Okay, as you read through all those websites, their company's websites, you'll notice that one word is coming back and forth all the time in the statement. Do you know what's the word? Do you know? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. If you know, write it in the comment before I'll say what it is. 1, 2, 3. Sustainability. Guys, this is the word you should know by now. And it's the key word for years to come. Again and again, we'll be hearing it from different media outlets and different TV channels. We're going to hear that everywhere, repeated and inculcated in our subconscious until it becomes a norm. And you're just going to accept it now. They're going to keep on grinding and grinding. So if you want to be up to speed with the word, just highlight it or bookmark it, the shit out of it. I don't know. You're going to know everything. Notifications will remind you about sustainability. It's like in a few years to come, you're going to receive a text message notification on your phone. Should you change your diet? Because due to latest data on your carbon footprint, a fart you emission 30 minutes ago shows an incredible high carbon molecule concentration in your area. Consider replacing your beefsteak with the mealworm fried rice or other delicious alternatives from our carbon zero range of products. Have you heard about ChatGPT? It is storming the internet, media, and business spaces in every possible way. And it is a tool you never heard of before. Although the technology is out of date in a while now, as they stop updating the software in 2021, it is gaining on interest, used widely in various genres of businesses and enterprises. If you're interested in the topic, Uncle Google will tell you everything. They know everything until now, only because seriously, ChatGPT is a serious danger for Google. And you can already get a ChatGPT version for Google, but I heard that they're developing a ChatGPT 4 at the moment, which will be covering a Blink search engines. So Google might be gone very soon. But what I want to share with you is the link to the website. Excuse me. You can have a look on yourself. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is sponsored by a company named OpenAI. You need to open an account in there if you want to use the topic that will direct you to the direct chat, and you can find out what's ChatGPT, for example. So I asked ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT? And this is the answer I received. ChatGPT is a conversational AI model developed by OpenAI. It uses the GPT, generative pre-trained transformer architecture, and is trained on a large dataset of text from the internet to generate human-like text responses. The model has been fine-tuned for various NLP, natural language processing tasks, such as question answering, text generation, and conversation. As a language model, ChatGPT can respond to a wide range of questions, provide information, and engage in conversation on many topics. So today, absolutely for free, crash course from ChatGPT only on our channel, Fresh Insider News. Listen and take notes. There isn't much to listen and take notes to, but if you won't do it, you will forget. So write it down now. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys. Okay. How to use ChatGPT? Simply ask questions or provide a prompt, and the model will generate a response based on the input. There is a couple simple rules you need to stick to when you write in questions for a ChatGPT, which is be clear and concise in your question or prompt. Always use proper grammar and spelling. Provide enough context for the model to understand your question and then generate meaningful response. And also remember that the model has a knowledge cutoff as of 2021, so it might not have information up to date on a recent event. So remember that 4 things, basically, you're gonna be safe. Example of questions you can ask for ChatGPT. So, for example, you can ask, what is the capital of France? If you don't know. Who is the CEO of Tesla? If you don't know. And what are some popular tourist attractions in Italy? If you don't know. The more exact you will be in your communication with ChatGPT, the more better results you will have with it. So remember that couple things. Recently on Joe Rogan's Experience, Jordan Peterson announced establishment of a new international movement open to the public worldwide. It's supposed to develop a brighter future vision. So opposed to the World Economic Forum incentives, he's trying to collectively formulate the answer to 6 key questions that Mr. Peterson is talking about in Joe's interview. Everyone interested to have their voice in the conversation is invited. So it is opposed to the World Economic Forum again and UN proposal where the initiative is imposed by those 2 organizations. What Mr. Peterson is offering that you can develop the topic or the idea for yourself and become a part of the public initiative rather than structured corporate imposed and dictated by the few on the top. There isn't much information or details on the specific goals or objective of this movement so far. Apart from the formal statement on JRE show and on Mr. Jordan B. Peterson's social media channels. The inaugural conference will take place in London, England on October 31st, November 1st and 2nd, 2023. So later this year. Still a bit time to go. We'll see how it's going to develop. That's all the information what we have so far. And more details about the organization and public participation and the conference itself will be announced as soon as possible. Let's listen to the video now. I want to share with you.
Set up an international consortium based in London. I can't tell you all the details yet, but we're trying to put together something like an alternative vision of the future, say an alternative to that kind of apocalyptic narrative that's being put forward, at least implicitly, by organizations like the WEF, and that's the virginal planet, rapacious tyrant, all devouring consumer religion. And it's more like something like, well, we want to ask people 6 key questions. Okay, so how do we get energy and resources at the lowest possible cost as rapidly as possible to the largest number of people around the world? That's one question. And so there's a presumption in the question, and here's one of the presumptions. You don't get to save the planet by making energy prices so expensive that no one poor can afford. That's off the table. So if you want to develop alternative energy sources, no problem, because, hey, man, the more energy sources we have, the better. But you don't get to impose your utopian vision in the service of your narcissism on the poor. We're going to try to make the poor rich. Going to try to alleviate absolute poverty. Pro-human view on environmental stewardship front. That's the next question. What are the major problems that are confronting us? How do we take a sophisticated multidimensional view of that? How do we prioritize our attempts to establish our states and our international relationships properly so that we prioritize human well-being, in harmony with nature to the degree that's possible, but human focused and not predicated on the idea that there are too many goddamn mouths on the planet to feed and that you're evil if you just think about having children. So then on the governance front, this is where it gets kind of more left-wing, I would say, is none of the people involved in this consortium so far are very thrilled with global corporate fascist government media and corporation collusion. And we're seeing this at the high end. It's like a Tower of Babel, is that the powerful players in the world are increasingly collaborating to impose a top-down vision of the future on everyone. And that's a future that's predicated on a zero growth model. And the idea that, well, we need 5 planets really to support everyone at the current standard of living that obtains in the West. So the best pathway forward is to deny loans by the World Bank to developing countries so they can't develop, energy sources, which all that'll mean is they're going to burn wood and coal, obviously. So that's the third question is, how do we arrange systems of governance to stop the march of something like pathological gigantism? This is why I like people like Russell Brand and also you to some degree politically, because you guys are very, what would you say, sensitive to the danger of that kind of corrupt collusion, that regulatory capture that occurs when corporate entities and media entities and governmental entities are all in bed together, like the FDA and the CDC and so forth and so on without end.
Okay, guys, you heard the first 3 questions. You can listen to the rest of the interview and the link I'm going to attach in the description. You're going to find in the description. For those of you who don't know who Jordan Peterson is, he's a Canadian psychologist, author and media commentator and professor of psychology at the University of Toronto. He rose to a prominence in early 2010 as a cultural critic and commentator on topics such as political correctness, freedom of speech, and individuality. He talks often about Nazism, Stalinism, and communism in wide range, and reassemblance of these topics in today's world and corporate world that we are being ruled by as a grey masses. His interpretation of the Gulag Archipelago book, written by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, is a very interesting and gives a lot to relate to in the modern day. He discusses how the book illustrates the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of individuality, freedom, and responsibility that comes with it. He strongly emphasized the need for people to resist political ideology that seeks to undermine personal agency and dehumanize others. And the last topic from mass media. BBC reports crypto addicts therapy offered by luxury rehab centers. Let me share a link. Have a look and listen to this crap. Luxury rehab centers now offer therapy for crypto addiction. There was a time when Don was pouring up to 200,000 every week into cryptocurrency trades. He slept fitfully and would be up in the wee hours to monitor prices and his portfolio balance. I break into sweat before going on long haul flights as I would not be able to access the internet, he said. Don works in a company that processes central bank digital currency transactions. He did not want to use his real name and wishes to remain anonymous because he fears his comments could spark a backlash from investors. He says he went on a downward spiral in the middle of 2022, and that's when he decided to seek help. That help cost him upwards of $75,000 per stay, but he was served by butlers and he had his own chef. So, if you're interested in the luxury resorts that offer their own food and service, you need to be prepared to cover 75,000. So that's it for today, folks. Stay tuned for more fresh insider news, where we'll continue to bring you the latest financial updates and insight with a touch of humor. The views and opinions expressed in Fresh Insider News are solely those of the host and guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any financial institution or government organization. The information provided on this channel is for general informational purposes only and is not intended as an investment advice or a financial advice. Please consult a financial advisor for personalized advice. Until next time, stay safe and informed. Peace.